He won in the AM class, and now he's chasing down Ettore Contini then for Kessel Racing, who we are on board with right now. Here comes the 488 of Scuderia Autoropa, then Martin Nelson right behind him. So great onboard shot then of Ettore Contini, and now Martin. Whoa!
A little touch.
Yeah, just went to turn in, did Ettore, and realised that the Scuderia Autoropa car was there. So Nelson now will give it everything he possibly can up this start-finish straight, because the number 49 car is theoretically going to have the inside line, isn't going into turn number 1, but Nelson's got his nose in front here.
Yeah, he improved really a lot. I have to say he's really fast this year. Also last year he won.
Yes.
And he's doing really a good job. What I tell you, yet now he really did everything well.
So Nelson does get the job done and gets past the Ettore Contini car to take up P6 now. It's not where he wants to be though. And next he's got Tommaso Rocca ahead of him. There is the all-blue Tommaso Rocca car. Driver number 97. So P11 in the race overall. P5 in the AM class, and already Martin Nelson is troubling him. So Nelson really has, and it proves the point that you made earlier on, Björn, that once something like that happens at the start of the race and you get turned around, it kind of gives you an extra kick up the bottom, if I may say, in terms of motivation to really, really push.
Yeah, you cannot lose anything. You are the last one, so you give 102%, and not only the 100. And sometimes it worked really well, like you see on his side. He is closing the gap so fast. But this is now an interesting fight because these two guys have a lot of fight in the past.
Yes. History, I think, is the word that I was going to use. But there was a mistake there from Tommaso Rocca on the exit there. Now, Martin Nelson, this is around turn number 13. Then it's in... You're going uphill here, aren't you, into turn number 14. Then it is this right-hander. So Nelson again to the outside of Tommaso Rocca has got superior momentum, I would suggest. And if he can Tommaso Rocca then, defensive driving, which he is allowed to do.
Yeah.
But now Martin Nelson with the inside line. This is going to give him the inside for turn number 1. It should be job done.
It have to. It have to. Now I think he have done it. Yes.
Well, for all the history between the two of them, that was clean and tidy, wasn't it?
It is. It was much more worse some races before. They had a lot of contact.
So now troubling Tommaso Rocca is the number 43 car of Ettore Contini. And Contini goes through, and Robin Jensen now... I wonder whether Tommaso Rocca has got an issue with the car here, because he's slowing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really slowing down, and he let him only go and don't go in. So I don't understand if he have a problem or it was only a mistake.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this replay. There, I mean, that was... Even someone like me could have made that overtake, I think.
Yeah. He makes it really easy for him.
Sure.
But sometimes you don't see if he is really beside you.
Yeah.
So you don't go with the full in this corner because you have a wall on the left and on the right side.
Yes. So we're back to this battle for P5 between Smith and Barron. And Sam Smith then around turn number 13 now, being chased by Philip Barron. What's really interesting, and I've been keeping an eye on the timing screen, Björn Grossman, is that Fabio, who is running in P2, is now quicker than Daniel D'Amato.
Yes, it's really strange. I look all the time on the timetable, and I see it's one time D'Amato is fast and his Fabio is fast.
Right. A bit seesaw-like.
Yeah. And I don't know if D'Amato drives full.
Ah, right. Managing
tires and so on.
Joshua Cartu and Jens Liebhauser then. This is for P2 on the AM podium. And Joshua Cartu has done a good job in terms of defending against the Austrian driver Jens Liebhauser. The margin between them has, has been 4 tenths, 7 tenths, and then sort of 5 tenths over the last couple of laps. So Joshua Cartu, who we're on board with now, doing a good job as we run downhill and then start to climb once again towards the back end of the circuit for the Ferrari Budapest driver. Up next, that right-hand turn. And there is our race leader. We've not seen a lot of him in the race because, truthfully, he's been untroubled once again right at the front for the CDP-engineered Daniel D'Amato car. Here he is around turn number 13 now. Once again, he's just increased the margin again, hasn't he, over Fabio Lima, that's running in P2. So D'Amato then around turn number 14. And we'll cross the timing line once again. Be interested to see what the gap is as they cross the timing line once again. Robin Jensen now gets past Tommaso Roca in replay. So Fabio Lima again. It's now it's 4.9 seconds between P1 and P2. So Tommaso Roca, clearly there is something ailing, I would suggest, in the car. Alessandro Vezzoni is out on his own, isn't he, in P3 before we see Andrea Gagliardini here. As the CDP team look on, of course, that's to the very right of the picture. That's Daniel's father, Renato, talking to him on the team radio. Is team radio a distraction or an assistance to you as a racing driver, Björn?
It's really important.
Okay.
So, of course, sometimes you don't need it because you see if in front or behind you is somebody, but it helps you a lot. If somebody is faster behind you, you have to push more or you can take out the speed.
Okay. Chris Froggatt then doing a very, very good job in the AMS. As we look at the Baron Motorsport team then on the pit wall as we reach the final 5 minutes of this race. It is Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. There is Philip Barron, and Sam Smith has got the better of him for now, hasn't he, in the final 5 minutes of this race. If Sam Smith can hold on to this, it will mean a P5 finish for Sam Smith. Philip Barron is P6. Philip Barron, another long-time campaigner in the Ferrari Challenge as well. And there is the best of the AMS then, Chris Froggatt in car number 93. Joshua Cartu and Jens Liebhauser. Interesting how the AM battle is all beginning to bunch up in the closing stages of this race, but with only 4 minutes of the race duration left. I'd be very, very surprised if it closes much more than it does currently. Everyone seems to have the measure of everyone else, and there's a bit of a gap between the P1, P2 and P3 in the AM classification. When you're leading the race, Björn Grossman, what do you as a racing driver consider to be a relatively comfortable margin of lead? Do you have a target that you try and think, okay, if I've got 3 seconds, I can give it 99.99% rather than 100%?
I have to say I normally give every time 100% because if you start to do only 95%, you make mistakes.
Okay.
So, of course, if you have 3 seconds, it's still a good.
Yes.
It's still good. So you can work with this and you can drive a little bit faster and slower.
Joshua Cartu then through turn number 1 now. Goes downhill. You can see the Chris Froggatt car ahead, and it's within his target sights, but can't really earn any more than he's doing at the moment. Gagliardini is running in P4. And there is Tommaso Roca then, the Rosso Corsa driver now. P8. He's just not quick, is he, Björn?
No, something is wrong, for sure. He is driving not fast.
Tommaso Roca then, who's not had the best of luck in the Ferrari Challenge. See some damage on the side of the car there. Here is the pro race leader, the CDP driver Daniel D'Amato, who really throws that car through the chicane there, Björn.
Yes, maybe a little bit too much.
Okay. And Chris Froggatt then leader in the AMS. And then leader of the 458 category is Yumi Tulkio then, who's driving also with Galapata, and Holger Harmsen is splitting the two Octane 126 cars at the moment. Now Jens Liebhauser really has caught Joshua Cartu. So Joshua Cartu is P2 in the AMS. Jens Liebhauser is P3, and that's a mistake, isn't it, from Joshua Cartu? Carrying too much speed in there?
Yes, too late on the brake, I think, and he went a little bit too much. And that's the point in the end when the tire starts to be really hot.
With these tyres on the 488 car, you know, when you get to the end of the race, as we are now, with only 1 3/4 minutes left, can you feel the difference in adhesion? Because clearly you've worked the tyres really hard, Björn.
It's a big difference. You see it on the times. You can do with the new tire 48 or 47 time, and now they drive 50.
And now Joshua's really struggling to keep the car on the tarmac at the moment. So Josh Cartu then, who was being chased by Jens Liebhauser, and presumably you will say that was very good attack from Jens Liebhauser, because he just kept the pressure on, didn't he? He wasn't too close, but he made sure that Joshua Cartu's rearview mirror was full of his car, and he knew that he was there.
Yeah, there you see, he make one mistake and that's enough. Yeah. And the next one, when you see on the next corner, it was only because he was not in his mind, so he was still not. Yeah.
That's a really good point, isn't it? Because when you lose a little bit of confidence, you have to regain it straight away, don't you? Otherwise, you're going to make mistake number 2. So D'Amato leading from Fabio Lima, then it's Alessandro Vezzoni. So Daniel D'Amato then around at turn number 14 will cross the timing line to start the last lap in this Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli race, and it's going to be another win for him, barring any disaster between now and the end of the race. There's Fabio Lima, who, it has to be said, has really come on strong towards the end of the race and has tried, but to try and reel in 4.5 seconds, Björn, that's a big ask, isn't it, from somebody that is driving as well as he is?
Yes, it is. I mean, I drive with Fabio now 1 year, and it's really 4 seconds is a lot for us. For us, it's a lot.
So D'Amato then for the CDP team with that 488 GTE, the first turbocharged car ever in the Ferrari Challenge then. And this will make it win number 4 across the last 2 rounds. Chris Froggatt then, and it will be his first win in the AM category. He's had 2 P2 places, but if he can take the AM win, he will be delighted with that. Jens Liebhauser is closing, but he's going to run out of time to be able to really trouble Chris Froggatt. And providing Chris doesn't make any monumental mistakes, then he should be safe. So P1 in the AMs with Jens Liebhauser P2 and Josh Cartu P3. But in the Trofeo Pirelli Pro category, the dominance that this man has shown over the last 4 races has been extraordinary, and it continues apace as Daniel D'Amato has just 2 corners to do before once again he will see the checkered flag, and he will make it 4 out of 4. 4 race wins out of 4 starts. That's one heck of an achievement when you marry that to the pole positions he's achieved as well. There's an argument that he does the hard work in qualifying. The CDP team climb the fence to salute their driver as once again he takes the checkered flag. Fabio Lima has chased for all his worth and has got ever closer, but he finishes P2 for Octane 126, and Alessandro Vezzoni, who's out on his own, here he comes then, and he will take P3 in the pro category. There's Alessandro Vezzoni. Next up it's Andrea Gagliardini then, before we should see the all-yellow car of Sam Smith to take P5. It will be Philip Barron that takes P6. Sure enough, there is Sam Smith. Philip Barron, who pushed the car so hard in the early stages of the race, that's probably cost him the pace towards the end of the race. And here comes our AM leader. Chris Froggatt takes the win from Jens Liebhauser. And here comes Josh Cartu then in his home race, who will take a podium with P3 in the AM standings. Chris Froggatt absolutely delighted with his win in the AMs, and to take the win in the 458 category, Umit Ulku, who's made it 2 out of 2, Björn, in the 458 category. And you can see as he's now only entering turn number 13, what a step up the 488 is in comparison to the 458 Evo.
It's a big step. I mean, I know this car.
Yes, of course you do.
I win 2 times the championship with exactly this car, so and he's a good driver, so I can say it's a big difference.
Well done to Umit Ulku.